Hi everyone and welcome to a very special winter episode of Enchantments. Now everyone knows the Tom Hanks film The Polar Express. Well, in northern New Mexico they have their own version of that fantastic train. In the little town of Chama, New Mexico, you can ride the historic rails of the Cumbres and Toltec Scenic Railroad. Jump on board with us as we travel back in time on the Cinder Bear Christmas Express.
All aboard!
The quaint little town of Chama, New Mexico is just that. Located in the beautiful northern New Mexico Rocky Mountains with a population of around 1,200, one industry here has withstood the test of time and is still running strong. The Cumbres and Toltec Scenic Railroad plays host to thousands of adventurers and happy customers every year.
Well, the Cumbres and Toltec Railroad was founded when the Denver and Rio Grande Western decided to abandon all of its narrow gauge lines except from Durango to Silverton. The efforts of two states, Colorado and New Mexico, basically saved this 64 miles of railroad between Antonito, Colorado and Chama, New Mexico. And it's a real treasure, not only for the state of New Mexico and Colorado, but I think also for the whole railroad industry. I'm a career railroader, 39 years in the industry, and to me this is a real tribute to our forefathers in this industry that kept the railroad industry going. And when you can see how difficult it must have been to build the railroad and operate the railroad, in this territory, it gives you an idea about how badly rail service was needed in this area.
Now, when was this railroad track laid?
In the 1880s.
Now, was the line used for something specific?
The line initially, of course, it hauled people. That was their introduction to this part of the country, and then a lot of cattle, a lot of lumber products, wood came out of here, and in its latter stages, it was very significant in the development of the oil fields in and around Farmington.
How authentic is the railroad today as compared to it in the 1880s?
Well, I think it's very authentic. Number one, our locomotives are just as they were. They were built in the 1920s. Anyway, what you see inside the locomotive, the way it's operated, the way it's maintained, is exactly the way it's done. What's exciting to me about it, so much of the scenery is the same. Once we leave Los Pinos and go up Osier and all the way over to Antonito, is very little population.
So this really is a train ride back in time.
It really is. We like to bill it as America's most authentic steam railroad.
What makes this railroad unique as far as the gauge and all that?
Well, it's narrow gauge. It's 3 foot, which is in lieu of the standard gauge. Our curves are anywhere to 22 degrees. We go up a 4.5% grade, which is, I think, the steepest grade in this country of any operating railroad.
Tell me about the train route between Chama and Antonitos, Colorado.
Well, I tell you, it is an absolutely beautiful, very unique, right? You rise from the Chama Valley here, going up to a 4.5% grade, up to over 10,000 feet at Cumbres, and then you drop down and very shortly follow the Los Pinos River up to Osier, where we always stop for lunch during the normal season. And then you're right, we go to the most, what I think, and I'm a native New Mexican, the most beautiful spot in New Mexico is the Toltec Gorge. And then from there, we wind on down until we hit the San Luis Valley and on into Antonito. So it is an absolute spectacular ride.
Now, does this railroad run year-round?
No, we operate from Memorial Day weekend until mid-October.
And then you have something special going on at the end of the year. Tell me about that.
We really do. We have our Christmas trains. We run Christmas trains on out of Chama, the way it is this year. We come December the 1st. We will operate a couple of trains, and then next week we'll be operating what we call our Santa Claus Cinder Bear trains out of Antonito. So we really like to give the children and the parents and even the grandparents a real good taste of Christmas the way it used to be when, there was always a lot of activity around the train stations and people coming and going, and it just, we think, adds a little bit to the Christmas spirit here in Chama and in Antonito, Colorado.
It's a great event for the family.
It is just an absolute super family event.
Now, do you have extra helpers or volunteers, or is everybody here paid, or how does that work?
Well, we have an excellent workforce of about 65 people during the full season, from the Friends of the Cumbres and Toltec that come up here in very well organized work sessions and do a lot of tasks that we just simply couldn't get done without them. And I feel the railroad would not be in existence if it had not been, in past years and in present years, through the efforts of our volunteer group from the Friends of the Cumbres and Toltec.
Now, can anybody be a volunteer?
Absolutely. We have an application here, and it's very well organized. They have a full-time staff in Albuquerque that processes the application, and our volunteers come from all over the country and some from foreign countries, come up here, and they do some of the tasks like paint the depots, paint milepost markers, cut weeds, cut brush, and do a lot of tasks that enables our maintenance forces to work on the track and put cross ties in and do work that really does help our whole operation.
It's a thrill to come fly here because it's this. You take off and it's fast, and you're flying fast, and you're landing fast, and it's exciting because you have all your other peers around you, and they're all having a great time flying.
Pork chops! Get your pork chops! Turkey legs!
Woo! My lips are tingling and my nose is running, and it's all because of you. All right. Is my microphone on? Am I rolling? Yeah. All right. Gotta love the color. Give me your best duck imitation. Quack, quack. There you go.
So we'll be up here for 24 hours, basically, staying up, cooking, and keeping her going.
What keeps you going?
Bud Light.
Well, I think I found some evidence. Let me introduce you to my friend. It's not Luis Nola.
Draw.
Cumbres and Toltec Scenic Railroad is a historical and magical piece of Americana which is loved by everyone who visits. It is listed on the National Register of Historical Places in the United States, and it is a true gem in our nation's history. It is loved and treasured by many tourists, visitors, and volunteers spread out all over the world. Now, as a volunteer, what kind of things do you guys do?
You know, the volunteers don't have to have any experience at all. Some of the wives come and they'll work in the garden outside. There's painting to do, there's lettering to do. I was nothing more than a model railroader when I came here, and I worked on a caboose for 3 years and learned how to put the couplers in and do all of the mechanical things as well as the carpentry of the thing. So you learn as you go along. People are more than willing to teach you, and you can do as much or as little as you want. The idea is to have fun, and you could take breaks whenever you want to. They have lunches for you every day. Sometimes we'll say, okay, we're going to stop working and we're going to go chase the train when it leaves at 10 o'clock, and we follow it up to Cumbres Pass and take pictures and that sort of thing. So, it's a very loose week that you can spend here.
Cool. So you guys are up here during the summer and during the winter?
No, there are 6 work weeks during the summer. There's 2 in May, sometimes 3, and then 2 in June, and then they go to August for 2 more, and then they shut it down as far as the volunteer group. As you probably know, the states of Colorado and New Mexico own this railroad, but they don't put as much money into it as we would like, so the Friends were organized to do all of the restoration and upkeep of the buildings, the cars, the superstructure of the railroad, and the states really go more towards keeping the engines up and the track work. Yeah. We have friends in Australia that come sometimes. There's something like 2,500 members, I think, and we get about 450 for the season to come and actually work. The rest of them support us as financially or in other ways. Right. Yes.
So this is kind of like a childhood dream come true for you, huh?
Oh yeah, I've loved trains ever since I was 5 years old, and my mom used to take me down to the rail yards in California, and one day the engineer of a switch engine stopped steamer and said, "Ma'am, I notice you and your son here every day. Bring him here tomorrow. Be here tomorrow at noon, and I'll take you for a ride." And that did it. Set the hook.
So how actually does the public go about getting a ride on this train?
I would recommend that they make reservations, strongly recommend that they make reservations. We get very, very busy over the course of our season, and we only have 1 train out of each depot each day. So it's strongly recommended they get reservations. They can call us, they can come into the depot, or they can do it online starting in 2008.
And then if some people just want to show up and come to the ticket booth like the old days and buy a ticket, they can get right on?
They certainly can, no problem whatsoever. We'll be happy to fit them in.
Now, what exactly is the path where the train goes? Where does it travel from and to?
Our train runs from either Chama or Antonito. Chama, New Mexico, it can go all the way to Antonito if that's what you choose to do. Or from Antonito, you can come all the way down into Chama, or you can go halfway, which is at Osier.
And then if you get off in Osier, you spend the day there and catch the train later, or stay overnight, or what?
No, once you get to Osier, you will have your lunch. You get back on the train, whichever depot you want to end up on, and head that way. Perfect. Yeah, so you can go halfway, the entire way, or you can stay overnight if you want to at the other end and ride the train back the next day.
What can the public expect to see when they're riding on the train?
They'll expect to see the most beautiful scenery in all of New Mexico. They'll go over gorges, they'll go over trestles, they'll go through tunnels. It's absolutely spectacular.
Now, what amenities do you have on the train?
On the train itself, we do have our snack car, and you can buy any sort of little snack you wish, or a little souvenir. At Osier, where we stop, we do have also another gift shop there. We also have our open car. Many people just ride that the entire length of the line because they love it. It's absolutely beautiful out there. You can take photographs. We also have, of course, our parlor car. Our parlor car is a private car, first-class car, and they have their own first-class amenities on there.
Tell me a little bit about the Cinder Bear Express and how that all got started.
That got started several years back. Our management company has now tried to finesse the Cinder Bear train, and we had a wonderful, wonderful year. Everybody loved the Cinder Bear train. We're looking to have even more people ride Cinder Bear train as we improve the service for Cinder Bear. They do get lunch with Cinder Bear on their Cinder Bear train, so that really helps out. That really makes it special. They have a picnic lunch, and the kids love it. We have games, we have a little nature walk, we have songs, and they just love that Cinder Bear when he dances.
Now, I hear there's someone else who kind of shows up for the Cinder Bear Express. Who might that be?
For the Cinder Bear Express at Christmas time, we have special guest Mr. Santa Claus, and the kids absolutely love it. They just go crazy as soon as he shows up. He's ringing his bells and singing his songs and clapping and singing with them and dancing with them, and he hugs them, and they absolutely love Santa.
One thing that I thought was really cool is like when people are kind of here waiting, they can actually walk around the train yard and look at the historical pieces of machinery that are here. Tell me about that.
We have like a living museum here, one of the best in the world. And if they are interested in trains, they can certainly walk around the yard, ask questions, talk to the engineers, talk to the shop guys. The only place they can't go in, of course, is the shop. There's a lot of stuff going on in the shop. But otherwise, they can walk around the trains, climb on it. They can take photos with the engineer, whatever they wish to do. We invite them to do that. And most people simply enjoy that. They're really happy with that.
Max, what does it take to be a conductor?
It takes a lot of hard work, a little bit of time to learn the track, learn the crews that you're working with. Basically, come in as a night watchman, you learn about the engine, and then you choose your spot from there. You can come in, you can go to a fireman spot, conductor spot, brakeman spot, whatever you choose, whatever you feel comfortable with.
And how long you been doing this?
3 years.
Wow, and you having a good time doing it?
Oh, yeah. Well, it runs in the family. I'm fourth generation right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So were the others in your family conductors or engineers or what?
Right now, my father is one of the senior engineer on the line. He still works. He's directing stuff as we go.
Yeah. So you guys have been doing this a while and you have a good time doing it, huh?
Interacting with the people is the best part of it all. Me personally, it's the kids.
Right.
I love to get the kids up in the cab and show them around, and see them jumping around,
Right.
It's great.
So you think you're going to work your way up to being an engineer someday?
That's what I'm working up to now.
Ronnie, how long have you been doing this?
I've been working here 11 years now.
And how did you become an engineer?
I don't know, just showed up one day there, and I started night watching actually. Keep the locomotives going all night, and keeping water in them, fire in them all night, servicing them when the guys would get back, And I did that for 2 years before, And one day a fireman didn't show up. They just put me up here. And I went from there, It takes a long time. So I was a fireman for 4 years before I became an engineer. So, yeah.
Now, what's the biggest challenge about being an engineer for the train?
Probably have to say the responsibility for everything, yeah. The locomotive, the passengers, especially,
Give me a basic rundown on how this engine goes. How do you get it started? How do you get it moving?
It works with the steam in that. But basically, it just heats up the fire heats up the water in the boiler, and that steam goes into a big old pipe that takes the steam into the pistons, and that steam forces the pistons to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you use to fuel the fire?
Coal. It takes about 4.5 tons for a whole trip. 64-mile ride will take about 4.5 tons of coal, and about 12,000 gallons of water. Wow. Yeah.
And what's the top speed?
They could probably go about 35, but we won't do that fast over here. We do about 15, 18, yeah.
You want to take your time and see the scenery.
Exactly, yeah. If it gets too fast, people can't enjoy the ride. So.
Tell me, at what level do we start out, and what is the climb, and where do you end up?
We'll go up a 4% climb up to Cumbres, and we'll drop down to about 2%, back down into Atnito, but the hard climb is on this side, yeah.
Now, do you have any advice for youngsters who might want to be an engineer?
Just keep at it. If you like trains, just keep at it, and hopefully everything falls into place.
guys having a good time?
We're having a wonderful time, aren't we?
This is pretty unique, huh?
It's very cool.
Where are you guys from?
We're from Albuquerque, just a short drive.
Have you guys done this before?
No, never have.
Ah, something new then, huh?
Yep.
Right on. And what do you think so far?
Man, I love it. You know, the wind whipping in your face. You know, some of the folks that we're riding with said they saw elk, so we've been kind of keeping our eye out, but we haven't seen any yet. But yeah, a lot of great photographs. It's wonderful.
So you definitely recommend this for other people?
Oh yeah, yeah. We're going to come back in the summer, aren't we?
So, are you guys having a good time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this your first time on a train like this?
Third.
Third?
Well, third time on a train. Second time on a train that runs like this.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where'd you do that before?
We went on the Durango one. I forgot what else it was called, but oh well.
I've heard about the Durango, but I think I like this one, huh?
Yeah. Yep.
This is kind of cool. There's lots of stuff happening, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like the train ride?
Yeah.
And what have you seen so far?
I've seen snow
Uh-huh.
and trees and mountains.
So, are you guys going to come up and do this again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like in the summertime.
Cool. Yeah, I know. I definitely want to come back in the summertime. I think it's going to be really, really pretty.
Yeah. Yeah.
How old are you guys?
I'm 9.
Yeah.
I'm 12.
Yeah? You guys saw Santa too. Tell me about Santa.
I got a candy cane and a bag full of peanuts.
Bag full of peanuts and snacks and oranges and things like that?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So are you guys going to go home and tell your friends that they got to come do this?
Yeah. My friend Nathan said he might have been on this one.
Yeah?
Yep.
All right. Well, good. Thank you, ladies.
You're welcome.
So where are you guys from?
We're from Durango, Colorado, and we have a train there that we love very much, but we're looking forward to coming back here next summer and ride the train all the way and enjoy all the scenery.
So is this like something that you've always dreamed of doing, or have you been associated with trains, or what?
Well, having 2 boys, 4 and 2 years old, they're in love with trains. We hear the train all the time at our house, see it. We go down to the train museum. We read books on trains, watch videos on trains, so it's a big thing for them to come here and see this train.
So are you going to be an engineer or a driver of a train someday?
Yeah.
Yeah?
We love to watch trains. We love to chase the train in our car, on our bike, and we feel very fortunate to have come and been able to be on a different train other than the one we're used to.
So would you guys recommend for other families to come up and enjoy this experience?
Well, yeah, I think especially for people in the Four Corners, other parts of New Mexico and Colorado, it makes a great day trip and also a great weekend point to go and be with your family and see different scenery.
Can you do your whistle for me?
Chugga, chugga, chugga. Psh. Woo-hoo. I'm bored.
Thank you guys so much.
Merry Christmas.
Well, we hope you enjoyed the special trip down memory lane on the Cumbres Toltec Scenic Railroad. It definitely left me with some special memories, and I'm sure it will do the same for you. You know what? I loved it so much, I'm going to take another ride right now. So we'll see you on the next season of Enchantments. And remember, recycle, reduce, reuse, and keep your environment clean and green. We'll see ya.